Welcome back to Nielsen Guitars. It has been a few weeks for me, probably not for you, because I think there's a bit of a backlog of videos. I'm sort of playing with releasing 1 or 2 a week rather than just dumping everything I've got, because as it's been 2 weeks I've been busy, been really busy with work and with other stuff. As Dave says, life gets in the way of life, so yeah, struggled to find time to do anything. But I wanted to there was a confession after the last video where I went through the refinishing the body. I looked at the neck, and I couldn't, I don't know, there was something about it that I couldn't, the colour match wasn't quite right. So I went and redid the neck. I left the body as it was because I didn't want to have to sand that again. The neck was I figured the neck was easier to sand and refinish. So the neck was sanded to 120. It was then sanded to 240. I applied the same dilute brown stain to it. Then I went and applied the same faded red brown that I did to the body. Did that once, then did it again. And then I applied dilute brown again, and it got to a point where I thought that it wasn't quite red enough, so I went with the last coat of a thicker red brown. So the brown with a splash of red in, but nowhere near as dilute as the two other, you know, the dilute brown or the faded red brown that I was using before. I felt it just lacked a little redness, and it wasn't quite as dark. And I felt that if I kept going with the dilute brown or the faded red, I would end up being too much either way, either too red or too brown. So I needed to I felt like it was just jump in and sort of, you know, head it off. So that is where we are. So the neck is now a slightly different colour, but I think, and I really hope I'm done here, that these are a better match. I think they are. I've got pictures that will be popping up that show kind of the neck versus the body when they're very close together. So all I did was, yeah, when I sanded, I left the water-based lacquer on the surface of the headstock with the black paint, and then sanded just close up to the side to give it, yeah, and managed to not, you know, chip any lacquer off or anything. And yeah, so we've got to that point where now I think what I need to do is the last thing to do before actually spraying lacquer. So I have the spray lacquer. Is to actually apply the decal to the headstock. So the decal is one that I bought years ago from guitardecals.co.uk. So I have a little decal, a little Nielsen logo. Actually, I'll put it up on the screen because I'm sure I'll have a picture of it when it's on, presuming this works. Yeah, a Nielsen logo that looks like, I think it's a retro Gibson logo. It's sort of that kind of font. So we'll be applying that, and there's a little N. And then to go on the truss rod cover as well. So I will, yeah, turn this camera around, move it about a bit so that you can sit over my shoulder while I do this. We'll get that applied, and then it's time for lacquering the guitar, I think. So yeah, time for lacquering. I'll start with the body, see where we end up. I'll give the decal enough time to dry before I spray something over it. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, let's get on with it, I guess. I've not got a massive amount of time, so it's good to get on and yeah, hopefully get something done on this guitar. So yeah, let's go then. So I've cut the decal out. There you go, you can see it a bit closer there. So that's the idea. Try and get it straight in the middle of the headstock. I have my warm water. So the instructions say soak your decal in warm water for 20 to 40 seconds. So let's begin that now. There we go, let's put that in there so it's curled up. I'm just going to push it under. There we go. So I've realised I've got to be really careful with this because I still have the water-based stain, and we know what happens when you drip water down the side of a water-based stain when you're maybe wet sanding or something like that. So you end up having to refinish the neck. So I've got to be very, very careful with sort of keeping hands dry and things. So I've got a cloth here. So I won't keep it too long. Move those instructions out of the way. It's then just a case of putting it in place, sliding. We just need a little dab of water on the headstock itself, so you can slide it around. So I just need to wet that without making too much of a mess. Otherwise, I will end up having to do something to the the sides. I don't know whether I should have masked it off. The problem with masking it off, I fear that I'd end up yanking the finish off, or yanking the stain off. So I think it's time. Let's curl up a little bit, let's go. See whether it moved. Yeah, the decal's definitely moving, so I'm going to try and just get as much of the water off that as I can, so I'm not left with too much on there. Okay, so here we go. And hopefully you're in the movie. Yeah, you're in the movie. Let's keep the place it's going to fall off is there, so let's try and keep the cloth there close by. So just going to slide that off there. Hopefully there's enough water on the headstock for me to be able to move this around. Let's get that out of the way quick. Okay, so get that out of the way. So it's not in the centre at the moment. Just going to move it about. Try not to fidget with it too much. I've got my phone here just with a picture of the headstock on the Les Paul. So I'm going to I may end up with my head in the movie, but I'm going to try and match these up as best I can on here. Try and make sure it's centered, because yeah, they're the same headstock, the same headstock design. So I should be able to get it reasonably close, and try and make sure it's straight. And yeah, I think we will be done. So I mean, the good thing is it's come off. It's not twisted. It's not nothing too drastic has happened. I think that's about straight, and eventually it'll start to set. At that point, I'll step in. Well, I have to quit fiddling with it. Just make sure it's about the same distance from the top. Assuming everything's straight. There's a little bit of water close to the edge there, so I'm just going to dab that away because we don't need that far out anymore. So then what they suggest doing is just dabbing it with a cloth. So let's get that out of the way, and then just make sure it doesn't move too much when you dab it. It'll start to set. So last chance to move it. You're getting a little bit of the view there. So yeah, then I'm just going to hold it in place while I try and dab the water out from under it. And hopefully that will leave it where it is. Make sure my finger doesn't stick to the decal. I think we are just about there. Let's just very gently see how that's set. I think like it or not, it is there. So I'll bring it up to the camera in a second. I'm just going to try and pat the rest of this out, hopefully. Just try and make sure I get all the bubbles and bits out. Oh, there's a bubble there. Oh, I moved across. Okay, right, I think we need to stop. I think that is about where it needs to be. There we go. Sorry, I'll just have a look at it. There you go. Nielsen. It's been stamped, it's been branded, so if we compare that with the picture of the Les Paul headstock, not too bad. So yeah, there we go. That'll do for now. So I'll clean that up once it's once it's settled. I think. Whew, okay. Yeah. Let's leave it there, and well, I don't know whether I'm going to do the lacquer, whether I'm going to film it. I don't really want the camera outside with lacquer flying around, or I could film it through the window or something. But yeah, we'll see how we end up with that. So yep, that's on. I think it looks straight. A bit of fluff there, but all good. So yeah, lacquer next. This is it. Big stuff. I'll catch you in a bit. All masked up, ready to go. So I've masked off the top of the fretboard, not the sides. So we're going to see how that works. By the look of it, I've got just there's a few little bits of the side of the frets exposed, and that's fine because I've still got to go across it with a fret, what would it be, rounding file, I don't know, the 30-degree file. Hopefully that'll take anything off there and not chip away the lacquer too much. So we'll see, that might be a disaster, but we never know. Never know unless we try. Yeah, so the logo's on there. It's cleaned up, it's ready to go. Body's on the surrogate neck, so yeah, I think what I'll try and do is I'll try and hang the neck off the washing line out there, and maybe hang the body off the washing line while I spray, and just yeah. So that's it. So this is the lacquer I'm going to be using. Northwest Guitars clear gloss nitrocellulose. So the top is rattling around in there, but yeah, I've got my respirator, need some gloves. Yeah, that's about it really. That's all there is. So I guess check back when we've got some sort of result. Wish me luck.